Welcome everyone to Jurassic Jabber episode 6. I know you've all seen that new Jurassic World trailer. Looks pretty good. We'll get into that a little bit this episode, but for the most part we're going to be talking about one of the new awesome dinosaurs in the movie. It's been around for a while. You've probably heard of it before. It's been in a couple video games. It's a fan favorite, Baryonyx. Now, before I get into how radtacular Baryonyx is, I want to go over this trailer just a little bit. I'm really excited that they hired Antonio Bayona as the director for this film. It's going to have a little bit more of a darker twist, which I'm excited about. This guy practically lives his life in suspense, so I have full confidence that his ideas will transfer well onto the big screen. And he also likes to blow things up, and as we saw in the trailer, they're finally blowing up the island. It's about time, considering that that was in the book The Lost World, so they're a few movies behind. But there are going to be thousands of people who are going to be reviewing this trailer, picking it apart, and telling you what you like and don't like about them. So I'm not going to get into that too much. What I am going to get into is today's real topic, which is Baryonyx. Baryonyx lived in the early Cretaceous period, about 130 to 125 million years ago. It was about 2 tons, 25 feet long, did most of its hunting in the water. It was discovered back in 1983 in Surrey, England, I believe, by an amateur fossil hunter named William Walker. Now, the name Baryonyx actually means heavy claw, and I'll explain why he named it that. Its name alludes to the extremely large claws on the first finger of each hand, like 12-inch long claws.
As you can see, it's a huge curved claw bone.
It had a long, low snout with narrow jaws and actually had the same jaw groove in the front as Dilophosaurus, which was in the first Jurassic Park movie, Spinosaurus, which is in Jurassic Park 3, and Suchomimus, which is supposed to be in this new Fallen Kingdom movie. Why is this groove important? I thought you'd never ask. This groove is only prominent on a few select species, like crocodilians and Spinosaurids. It also implies that this animal spent a good majority of its time in the water hunting fish. But that does not mean for a second that you're safe from it on land. Its low center of gravity and bone structure suggest that it was a very swift animal, both on land and in the water. It would swing its tail side to side like a crocodilian, so even somebody like Michael Phelps wouldn't be able to outswim it. Now let's get to the really deadly parts of this animal. Baryonyx had 90 teeth, and at the front of its snout it sported 12 7-inch long teeth, which were more like spikes. Now, it's thought that its jaws had the same functionality as a crocodilian's. It was kind of weak opening up but had a strong bite force, which makes sense because fish are elusive, so you actually need a quick snap of the jaws to catch them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, its teeth were conical and very finely serrated. Now, the neck of Baryonyx was less curved than most other theropods, and the neutral spines on its dorsal vertebrae increased in size from front to back. Paleontologist Nazar Ibrahim believes that Baryonyx would have had very large muscles in its forearm and wrist, which is perfect and ideal for slashing. And like I mentioned before, that first finger claw on each hand was 12 inches long. That's bigger than a kitchen steak knife. 12 inches long and curved. But Baryonyx was most definitely piscivorous, a fish eater, as evidenced by the fish scales that were found in the stomach region of the holotype specimen.
They found some semi-digested fish scales actually inside where the stomach would have been in life. You can see here on this block there's a large piece of bone. That's one of Baryonyx's ribs. And lying on top of the ribs are a patch of dark blackish brown objects with little shiny patches on them. And those are actually semi-digested fish scales. So here is some really good evidence that Baryonyx ate fish.
But it was also a very active land predator, since we have found bones of the large herbivore Iguanodon in its belly. Now here's where some of the debate comes in. Lepidotes is the type of fish that was found inside the stomach region of the holotype specimen. There's a very good chance that Baryonyx had to actually catch this type of fish, whereas Iguanodon on land he could either catch alive or dead. So there's a decent amount of scientists that debate whether or not it was a land predator or just a scavenger. Its nostrils were higher up on its snout, so it can submerge itself underwater to get all sneaky on its land-dwelling thirsty prey. Now we'll talk about some interesting facts that most people don't know about Baryonyx. Baryonyx also had the addition of a large notch at the end of its jaws, created by a recess in the premaxilla, and a rounded protuberance in the lower jaw that roughly matches the curvature of the above recess. This trait is commonly seen in crocodiles and helps to increase the grip on slippery wet prey like fish. If it helps, the end of the snout of Baryonyx was very similar to the modern-day Indian crocodile Jahario, which is a nasty looking crocodile. Now to build on this, a detailed analysis at the University of Chicago on Baryonyx's larger cousin Spinosaurus revealed that the end of the snout of the Spino had pressure-sensitive receptors. These receptors could have been capable of sensing the movement of fish while dipped in the water. As an early relative, Baryonyx may have had the same or a similar method of underwater sensory. Now, something else you all should know, there's a chance that the name Baryonyx might change, kind of the same way that Brontosaurus changed to Apatosaurus. The current classification of Baryonyx is a little muddled due to the recovery of other Spinosaurid material that may or may not be part of Baryonyx. The first possible synonym is Suchosaurus, which was named after only the teeth after a specimen found in 1841. Now it was slightly different from Baryonyx, but it was definitely a Spinosaurid. It's also thought that the original holotype specimen of Baryonyx was not fully grown before it died. Now there are a lot of similarities between Baryonyx and the larger Suchomimus, which is also supposed to be in Jurassic World, which leads scientists to believe that Baryonyx was not fully grown and hadn't developed a slight sail like Suchomimus does. So basically what I'm saying is that if any other evidence comes up that Baryonyx matches to another Spinosaurid, there's a very good chance that Baryonyx will lose its name. So Baryonyx was one badass dinosaur, and I'm extremely excited to see it in the new Jurassic World movie. Now, how Baryonyx looks in the Jurassic World trailer doesn't quite compare to what the skeleton looks like, but since when have the Jurassic movies ever been entirely accurate on their portrayals of dinosaurs? Where are the feathers? Dilophosaurus didn't have a hood and spit venom. Velociraptors weren't that big. Where are the feathers? The T-Rex couldn't run 35 miles per hour. Where are the feathers? Spinosaurus didn't look anything like that. That Mosasaurus is way too big. Where are the feathers?
I can't hear you over the weight of scientific evidence. This whole debate should not have happened.
But it's okay, because it's just a movie. Hollywood's always going to put their little spin on everything. Just know that Baryonyx was a swift, strong, agile land and water predator that could rip you in half. And for you gamers out there who remember that old PlayStation game, The Lost World, let's travel back and geek out just a little bit of how cool it was to either live or die by the Baryonyx in that game. So many hours. Well, I'd like to thank you all for listening to my take on the new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie and the Spinosaurid Baryonyx. Make sure you subscribe and comment and like this video to let me know what you think. It also helps me pick out the next topic that I'll have for the next video. I hope you all have a great rest of the holiday season. Ben for Jurassic Jabber.